Hi, Debbie. We're here with Nicole and Eric. Oh, we have more fun friends joining us too. But everybody who's arrived, thank you so much for showing up. We reached out randomly to Nicole and Eric, and we were like, hey, we love you guys, and would you want to come join us so that we could gather together and have a fun Big Brother chat? And they were like, sure. So again, thank you so much for being willing to do that. That says a ton about both of you guys.
I love an interview.
I know you do.
I love an interview. I love when I don't have to produce it or worry about chat, and I just sit here and talk.
It's easy. It's easy then. Melbo said she thought this was yesterday, but hey, today's Friday, Melbo, so you made it.
On Friday.
Yes.
Friday, yes.
I'm excited because here in our area we have Halloween Horror Nights. That got canceled, sadly, but at least we have Hallow Scream from Busch Gardens. It's so much fun. Do you guys have anything like that near you?
No, but guess what I did yesterday?
What?
I played for Nicole while we were working Nikki's Not So Scary Halloween Party Parade.
Never heard of it.
Really?
What?
I only know of what is it? Grimming ghosts. Grim ghosts. I know that melody because it was in the beginning of Disney movies, but I didn't know it was an attraction at Disney.
Oh my goodness.
What attraction is it from?
It is the haunted house.
The Haunted Mansion?
Haunted Mansion.
Have you ever been to the Haunted Mansion? You haven't been to Disney, have you, Nicole?
No, I've never been to Florida, period.
We need to make that happen. Don't we?
Yeah,
She makes me very angry.
Yeah. So have you, Eric? You have, obviously.
I used to go 5 times a year.
Did you, where are you guys, were you born and raised in New York?
Yes.
Long Island?
Long
Right.
Island.
Long Island, you are born, raised, and currently residing.
Yay! So where's the farthest you've visited, in the United States or around the world? Both of you guys, that's for both of you.
Oh gosh, mine is California because of Big Brother, and then out of country is Canada. I've never been to any other countries aside from Canada, which I guess is kind of sad, but
No, it's not sad, but you still have a lot of time, girl.
I want to travel the country, travel the world. I love meeting new people, going to new places, new experiences, all that kind of stuff.
Me too. Hey, TV Talks with Tom is here. Yay!
what I wanted to say is that because she won't say it. So when we worked at Disney, I was always doing the castle show, and so I never got to do the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, but she got to rock out as one of the rock and roll dancers. So I don't know if you saw the ones that are playing the guitar and they got the rocker hair.
Yes.
She got to do that every year. I was super jealous of that because I never got to do that parade.
It's really fun.
I'm sorry, if you're going to sit here and act like you know about Mickey's Not So Scary, the Rockers art is going to really annoy me.
You showed me a clip. Wow. Wait, so you were a rocker, and then Sean, what were you?
Well, so we had a lot of different roles when we worked there. Mainly, I did Peter Pan all the time. That was my main gig. But then I also spent time performing as Pluto in the Castle show. And that was actually probably the most fun I had. And then Karin, she did Tinkerbell, Wendy, Alice. She was a dancer in every single show.
It was fun. Yay!
But what was cool is so when we were at Disney World in Orlando, the big event is everyone auditions to go to Tokyo Disneyland, and 10,000 people audition. They pick 15 people out of 10 countries, and somehow we both got picked for the same Tokyo contract. And at the time we knew each other, but we didn't really talk very much. I don't know. I think I was super young and annoying, and she was in the cool kid club.
Oh, okay.
But when we went to Tokyo, our rooms ended up being side by side, and then we started dating, and then I proposed to her 3 months later at in the Tokyo Tower. So we were performing as Peter Pan and Wendy in Tokyo when we got engaged, and then we got married as soon as we got back.
Yay! So that's the story in a nutshell. Okay.
That's the story.
Love it.
That's the life after Neverland.
I need to go to find somebody.
Tell us yours. Ready and go.
Basically, I paid money to have these people install cameras in a house Nicole was living in, and then I spied on her for a few months, and I randomly bumped into her in person in New York City and went, oh, this is so awkward. Hello.
No. was the first actually Skype interview I did when I got off BB21. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. It was static. You couldn't see her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was literally like, I have to explain to this person how to use Skype.
I used it, twice during, like, the casting process of people there, but I never, like, used it.
Right.
So I remember him just being like, I can't see you, and now you're granny, and now you're gone, and now there's no video, and now you're gone again. Why don't you just use your phone? And I was like, well, how do I use my phone? Like, you get Skype on your phone? I'm like, I didn't know you could download Skype on your phone.
Oh my gosh, Nicole.
Ever since.
That's amazing.
Listen, we're living vicariously here because like I'm the techie guy, like I do all the photo like production stuff, and I'm a photographer. She doesn't know how to use anything, and if she starts messing with something, she usually breaks it, and then I have to figure out what she did and get it all working again.
The people that are following that usually follow me right now, they can all attest to that because I'm always like bumping into things, like having issues with something, and they can all attest to it. Listen, if you guys have questions, of course, for Nicole and Eric, please, I'm going to keep looking down real quick. Hopefully I won't miss it. If I miss it, obviously type it again. But I did want to say something funny to what Eric just said. Is it weird, Nicole, that like all of us, how weird does this sound? Everyone, including most of the people here in the chat, have all spied on you at one time or two times?
It is so super strange, especially when I'm not, like, when I say, like, in this realm, when I'm not, you know, interviewing or talking to big brother people. If I'm just literally in Target walking around and someone's like, oh my gosh, how are you? Like, I watched you sleep. And I'm just like, oh. And then you kind of, like, realize, like, oh yeah, you can watch me all day, every day. And you forget that when you're just, like, living your daily life. So it's very, very strange.
Right. Your experience in reality world is so different. It's so different than any other reality. Even Survivor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They have like the live feed, so it's just all day, every day, constant.
And people literally watch all of that.
See, I was kind of thinking about that because in our performing experience, we were always performing as like other characters. And then like for example, I would do a set as Peter Pan, and like I'd do a parade or a show. And then I'd go down on my break down in the tunnels, and I would get into my street clothes and put a hat on, and then I'd go back up to the park to eat. And no one recognizes me. Like they probably just watched me in the show 10 minutes ago. But now when I turn into Sean, nobody knows me. And so I'm like, that's so cool that I was able to turn that on and off and still be myself. And for you guys, it's like you're wherever you go.
On the show, you are kind of like a caricature of yourself. So it's like you, but to 11. So if you're a quirky girl, you are a quirky girl. If you're athletic guy, you're like, because how the DRs go and everything. But it is so true in the real world. You're recognizable. Your mannerisms are your mannerisms, so people can pick you up. And even what's weird with COVID, like I wear my mask, and usually it's my voice that gives me away. Like people will hear me like 2 aisles over, and they're like, Nicole, like.
Oh my God. Have you guys ever felt like when you're at the store and you're like, oh no, I think they caught me, and maybe you're just having a really bad day? Do you ever go and hide somewhere?
In Target.
Here's the thing. Number one, Nicole, the tunnels is because Disney World, you're on stage when you're in the park, but you can't have the characters traveling around. It wouldn't make sense. So they travel underground in tunnels.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds.
You get like VIP passes to the tunnels. Is that like a thing?
Yeah. But Eric, have you done it?
No.
I don't know if you want to. I mean, maybe it's a lifetime
I
experience.
don't want to ruin the match. Believe me, here is what this season of Big Brother taught me. If you love something, do not become a part of it and do not go behind the curtain. So no thank you. I won't be doing any tunnel behind this. None of that.
You're so wise.
Very smart.
Very wise.
I have always said that Nicole's a liar because she would be like, oh, I just was at Dollar Tree and like 16 people came up to me and it was so, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. Then Nicole and I will go to Dollar Tree the next day, not one person. Then she'll be like, oh, I was just in Target and I got bombarded by people. Nicole and I will go into Target, not one person. So yesterday, my back was killing me. I could not even get out of the car. I was like, Nicole, I cannot go in with you. Of course she comes into the car with all these stories of the people. Like, we had just been in the supermarket looking for Lucky Charms ice cream.
Yeah, that's why we were shopping.
Yes.
I walked all around the supermarket with her. Not one person said. So then I was like, no, you go into Target. She comes back to the car. Oh, I was stopped by this person, that person. The cashier was like, you're Nicole, you're famous. And I was like, whatever, Nicole, I don't believe you.
But I thought you did believe me until the person later posted the picture to social media and your shocked face of, oh, you did get stopped. And I was like, hey, do you think I made it up because you weren't there?
Yeah, I literally thought she was making it up.
I love it.
So it's me. People don't like me, which is normal.
No way. But you could be like that energetic bodyguard for her if she ever needs one. Just come with me, Eric, because maybe you will repel some of the evilness. There you go.
Let me.
Good. That's a positive way to think of it.
I'm serious.
Sure. I see you as the thing that I'll hold in front of me if someone starts a sure, if you want me to be the bodyguard.
I think I'm more approachable. You know, I was alone with a quart of like Lucky Charms ice cream with my little Josie and the Pussycats backpack.
Yeah.
I'm just more approachable when I'm alone. Even when I'm with my family, sometimes people they see me, and to go back to your question, like I see them and they're just kind of like, and you can kind of tell like, do they want to approach me? But I don't want to like pull them out on it. Like, hey, do you know who
Yes.
If they feel comfortable approaching, I let them. If they just want to observe from afar, I allow that as well.
I think that is, would you say that's experienced? Was it like that for you when you first got out of the BB house? Was it hard to manage that? Because I would imagine it would be. I'm just saying, managing fans.
It's very, very strange. And one thing I will say is it's made me less socially awkward. I consider myself a very socially awkward person. So when I first got out of the BB21 house and people would stop me, and I understand because I know if I ever met somebody that I'm a big fan of, like, hi.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hi. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm the one that should be speaking. So then I learned social etiquette and talk about how was their day, what's their name, why are they a fan of the show, what do they like, and I kind of learned that. So I kind of like am thankful for it in a way because it made me, I don't know, less anxious when like approaching new people. It made me more like, oh, here's my talking points type of thing.
I love that. Just because I feel like social anxiety goes across the board, so it kind of was like a way of just pushing you and you're not comfortable. It pushed you there. But I was going to tell you something. I was going to say, when you were saying like quirky or whatever word you used to describe yourself, but those are the things about you that are endearing. So I just want to make that clear. You probably already knew that. It's true. It's true. Eric, I think we were trying to figure out technical stuff before, but where have you been around the world? I didn't forget. You didn't get to answer, and I am curious.
I think as far as I've gone is in the United States, probably Alaska.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think out of the country, I've been to like France and Italy.
Wow. That's amazing.
I'm totally lying. I've been to the exact two places Nicole has. LA for Big Brother and Canada for also Big Brother.
That's amazing. I'd love to go to Canada. No joke. That's on my list.
Oh, I love it there.
Is it beautiful?
Everyone's so friendly. It's like clean New York. So like there, Toronto that we were in, I was like, this is like New York, but clean.
Ooh.
And they're just so friendly and pleasant and just like calm. I remember like that was in Calgary, Alberta. So I know, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And they were just so like welcoming and inclusive and nice, and they're kind of different than around these parts.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Because when we lived in Japan, the Japanese are just very, like, they come across very loyal and very respectful. I mean, I'll tell you just a really quick story, super quick. So Sean lost his computer. There's two. He lost his computer on a train, and he ended up calling to find out where it was. It went to a complete and other city and all the way back again, and not one person stole it. And then I lost my wallet, just fell right out of my pocket, which was an idiot. I don't know why I had it in my pocket. But anyways, it went to the police station, and nothing was stolen from my wallet. Not one thing.
Meanwhile, New York City, you have your laptop on your lap, and your wallet in your pocket and you will both.
Yeah. So dude, that's crazy, right? It's like you're in a whole new world. So I know what you mean.
I remember when we were in Japan, for so long, you kind of got used to that culture. And then when we came back home, like, I was like, what is wrong with everyone? Like, people were like slamming into me and elbowing and no one was making eye contact. And I'm like, man, we suck. But then I got used to us again. And I'm like, okay, now we're cool.
Yeah. I know a lot of people.
Versus us. I felt like California is more calm and
Relaxed.
peaceful. Like, everybody, like in the airports, they just walk slower, whereas New York is like, go, 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 go. Very different.
Culture shock for you, I'm sure.
Oh,
Both of you.
immensely.
Well, she's from Iowa, and she took me home one time to visit her family, like, because like tomorrow is our anniversary. So this is like 17 years ago. Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Thanks. And we went to like a Waffle House or something. We sat down to eat, and people were getting up from their tables and coming over and saying hi to us. Like, they didn't know us. They're just like come over and talking to us. I'm like, what is wrong with everyone? She's like, this is Iowa. I'm like,
Yeah, they're over.
This is
like,
weird.
You would be like thinking you're probably in the Twilight Zone, Nicole and Eric, if you went to Iowa, because everybody's overly friendly there.
Oh,
Legit.
I spent every summer of my life in Texas. I love the South. I mean, I also don't know geography. It's Iowa South. It just sounds friendly.
Well,
They're very friendly.
no, listen, it's
I'm still letting go.
tons of people. Like when I went to California, for example, they were like, "Where's Iowa?" Like they'd never heard of it. It's in the middle of the United States, but however, they act their personality traits are very Southern-like. So
Okay.
yeah, I get
I
you.
went to Catholic school, so we didn't learn things like geography or science. We learned like God did it. So like, where's Iowa? Wherever God put it.
I love that. That's a wonderful philosophy.
Right?
I'm on board. And if someone asks me something like, where is this state? Like, well, I think I know where Utah is, but do I know where Wyoming is? I'm not sure. But anyway, I might say something like that and use it as an excuse. Thank you.
Yep. Where God placed it.
Where God put it.
Wherever God put it. Thanks. My mother-in-law is here, which I'm really excited about. And she says Alaska is on her bucket list, which is actually on mine too.
And Alaska's like really, really far, like beyond Canada, correct? That's probably a lot. Like,
No.
yeah.
No.
it's like,
Isn't it like over there somewhere? Wherever God put it, it's over there.
Like Canada, correct?
No, it's over on the bottom.
I thought it was over, like, if Canada was here, this is Alaska over there, no?
Yes.
Do we need to go back to school? Everybody here is like, okay, these people are correct.
Chat to confirm that I thought Alaska's in the bottom.
No, it's up by Canada.
I love this conversation.
Thinking of maps.
Okay.
Which are very confusing for young children because they put Alaska and Hawaii next to each other on the bottom of the map. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, crap. That was Iceland I was thinking of.
what?
No, me too.
Yeah, right, Eric? We were thinking of Iceland, you know?
Oh, Nicole.
And Greenland and Iceland is really green, and Greenland is really cold and icy.
Yeah. And Iceland has like those green neon things that float around in the sky. You know what I'm talking about? No? Everybody's dead quiet. Why are you guys quiet? You
That's
know
where
what I'm
the
talking
Northern
about?
Lights.
Yeah, those.
Northern Lights. Yes.
I actually do want to see that.
Yeah.
Me too.
Top Gun says glaciers. Oh, those are in Alaska? No, those are in Iceland. Okay, now I'm just being silly. I'm just being a goofball, okay? I mean, not really. Sometimes I am. But anywho, I'm sure people want to ask you questions about BB. Are you guys okay with this? You dig it?
Dig it.
Thanks a lot.
I love it.
I'm in trouble.
A lot of people are excited about Alaska. We should all go together. Road trip. So, Nicole, what I wanted to ask you, which is like, I've always loved Big Brother, like ever since season 1. And I know you're a Big Brother fan too. Eric, obviously, Sean, we're all Big Brother fans.
You got me into it.
I did. But I wanted to ask you what the audition process was like. What is that like?
Oh, that's actually a really good question that a lot of people don't. Like everybody wants to know it, but a lot of people don't ask it. So you can either go to an in-person open call where you just show up and you talk to them like on the fly, or you can send in a video. Me, of course, being full, I sent in a video because I wanted it to be something where, not that it was scripted, but I had my bullet points that I wanted to talk about. And I had sent in a video my first year, didn't hear back, and I was hell-bent, like I'm meant to be on that show, I'm meant to like, go there. So I applied the next year, and it was a lot more like energetic in my video, really sold it, really wrote it home that I was like this badass New Yorker. And I ended up getting a call. I was working at the preschool at the time, and I got a call, and you think it's just like spam. Oh, call from California. I'm like, who from California be calling me? And then a voicemail was left, and I was like, hold up a second. So I listened to the voicemail, and it's like, hey, it's blah blah from Big Brother. We'd like to continue the process with you. And the interesting thing about my process is when they first called me back, my first phone call with them was, you seem like a really badass New Yorker, like really tough. Like I was in my leather jacket and my promos. Like I was really, New York through and through. And they're like, all right, we're going to do the Skype interview. So here comes my first Skype interview. I put the laptop on my bed, and I'm very expressive when I talk. So the laptop's moving because I didn't know to like steady it because that's me. And they're like, can you put it somewhere else? And I was like, oh, crap. Like, I don't want them to see my stuffed animals. I don't want them to see my unicorns. I just want them to see Nicole, leather jacket, like books behind me because I'm smart. And I put the laptop on my dresser, and I'm trying to like hide my stuff. And she was just like, what's behind you? And I was like, nothing. So in that moment, me being socially awkward, I start flailing my arms. I smack the laptop off my dresser. It goes flying onto the floor. Out. Broken.
Were you just dying?
So at this point, I am dying. I had to have my dad hook up like the other computer to Skype. I had to like run to it really quickly. I was like, oh my gosh, please don't take me out of the running of Big Brother. Please, please, please. I'm so sorry. I smacked the laptop off my dresser, and lo and behold, that's what ended up making me like more endearing to them.
Right.
We saw all your stuffed animals. We saw all your Pez dispenser collection when the laptop fell, and you broke the laptop and we're panicking, and that was classic Nicole. So I just think it's funny how I quickly went from this pigeonhole of like the tough New Yorker in the leather jacket to, okay, we got our quirky girl. So for me, their whole thing is finding characters, and that's how the casting process is. It's very yourself up to 11 and be authentically you, and I really thought, tough New Yorker is authentically me in my mind.
Yes.
But, they got to the root of the authentic me.
Yes. I love that.
Well, I just wanted to say right here in the TV app on Nicole's Tea Time with Nicole, you can watch those videos. You did a whole show playing those interviews.
What?
And chat was horrified. Chat was like, who is this girl? I'm like, that's my inner voice. Like, I was really tough. I was a tough gal.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole's alter ego.
Yes. I like it.
Do you have a name yet? You should come up, or do you already have a name for your alter ego?
I don't know.
You guys need to come up with one, because I love that story. Oh. You two really do have a fun chemistry.
What?
You two really have a nice chemistry together. You guys are funny together. You really are.
Oh, we try. I say it's, I put it this way. I know that part of Nicole seems to come out more like 1 week during the month, and to give me a warning when the week is starting, and then I know that I'm going to be just destroyed if I say anything.
Yeah, why can't us
Chocolate.
women just give them a warning? Like maybe like we're like in the morning we look like a vampire or something crazy. Bad.
You're okay right now?
Don't talk to me.
Aaron says we should name the alter ego Nicole.
Yep, and then Nicole fan 83 says you have a Valley Girl alter ego as well.
I do. This is something I just started yesterday during our show, because I forget what it was. You brought up, what was it? Like egos.
Yes, I stupidly said you didn't have a big ego.
I was like, wait, because I really don't. So I was like, I was like, I'm just gonna like make this like voice, and I do have an ego. So anytime we would talk about something, from Big Brother or anything like absurd, that myself, like I wouldn't say anything like, oh, I'm so great, but I would use that voice and be like, well, Nicole should have won the season, and now she's out of the house, so nobody cares who wins because they all stink. So whatever.
Listen, I'm a big fan of Valley Girl talk. Okay.
Yes. Once you get her going, she won't stop, though.
Oh my God. Totally.
I wasn't saying that I shouldn't have told you didn't have an ego, because I think you have one. I mean, I try not to compliment Nicole, because then she goes on power trip a little bit.
The backfires, Eric.
Backfire. Although I do think my name for you will be Nicole.
I don't have an H in my name.
No, I'm saying like Nicole.
Oh, wait, that was funny how Nicole interpreted
Nick
that.
Cool.
Like Nicole, in my mind, I felt like you were interpreting it as Nick Hole. When you said I don't know. Oh, okay.
that's what Bree just said.
No, Bree's here. Hey, it's me, Bree Lee. Everybody follow It's Me, Bree Lee, too, because she's amazing. I love her. You guys are so much fun. I feel like I could like ask you a million questions. So
Ask anything.
okay, I'm gonna ask you another one. You ready? Okay. So tell us what it's like actually living. So we watch you living in the Big Brother house, but what's it like for Nicole? Like, what does it feel like? Like, I can imagine it's like the most stressful. I would have anxiety attacks in that house.
Are we talking BB21 or are we talking BB22?
I think we want to know all of the above. Tell us each season.
So, BB21 was very, this is magical, this is amazing. I'm in the Big Brother house. I've watched this for a decade. Wow, here I am by the memory wall. Here I am in the kitchen. This is my house. And I felt very attached to it. I felt very attached to the cast. It's like we went through this experience together. And then and of course it was stressful. It had highs, it had lows. But this season was, for me anyway, a lot more of the extremes. I walked in and I didn't have that feeling of like, wow, this is magical. I had the feeling of like, I'm back, but my house is different. Where's the RV? Why does the kitchen look different? Where are my utensils? So that kind of like unnerved me. And then I didn't have as much as an attachment to the cast. And I think it's because they all already exist in the realm. There's already pre-established relationships and dynamics and who's going to whose wedding and who hangs out for lunch. So there was a lot of like, oh, this is not the same experience. So I think it just like festered in my anxiety while I was there. And I felt like this season, even though I was only there for 2 weeks, I felt like it was a lot more stressful. And I can imagine what it was like to watch.
Oh my gosh, Nicole, like I feel for you because not only we all love you because you are our absolute like heart for the last season for 21. I mean, you lifted all of us up when things were like really like cray up in the house. I couldn't even imagine what it felt like for you. And then to come back in an all-star season where you've got all these people that are real like, I don't know how to say, like, the only thing I can think of is like people that have like really strong, like maybe egos, for lack of a better term. Yeah. That can be really intimidating and scary. I would, that's how I would feel. Yeah.
And I felt it right away. Just, I guess the perfect way to put it is like egos, and I don't mean that in a negative sense.
Exactly.
Just very, I am this person from season 5. I am this person from season 11. I am this person from season 14. And for me, it was like I was just on last year. So it was kind of like a disconnect there, I felt.
Yeah, I felt for David the whole season too. And basically, I think what we're both saying is like strong personalities, right?
Yes.
Just really strong. Yeah. That's very intimidating. Really confident. Yeah.
But I think you sell yourself short because I think you also have a strong person. You don't have not a strong personality.
I agree with you on that.
One thing I always say is Sam from my season, he always says to me, he says, Nicole, you do have like a very good sense of humor. You do have a strong personality. It's just that like if I'm like at a 10, other people are at like a 12. So I seem so quiet because they just overshadow, especially if it's a large group of people. When people start dwindling, more of my personality comes out. And that's what happened last season. The more America got to see me, like, oh, she's showing more of her true self. And this season, I feel like I didn't get that because seeing everybody, I just kind of right back into the shell.
That's so true because this is what I was thinking. So I think you couldn't be in the Big Brother house if you didn't have a strong personality, number one. And two, I feel like no matter how strong your personality is, sometimes when you have another person who uses their strong personality in a different way that might be like uncomfortable for you or like you don't know how to work around that personality, that's when things get awkward and uncomfortable. And then you have to play the game on top of it all.
It was a lot. It was definitely a lot.
Oh!
It's so hard for me not to. And look, I know that I'm biased when it comes to Nicole's game, but I will say I know me and I would defend anyone in Nicole's position. It's just obviously more personal for me than Nicole, that it's Nicole. But I just think people forget, like, she was one of the first women to win one of the comps. And then her reward for winning a comp was
have not.
You're punished. You're isolated from everybody
Yep.
for a week. Where I feel like you were, and not to make an excuse, like that's the game, 100%. I've already said what I think the issue with the game is. I think there was like help that people might have had or bonds that they had before going in. I don't think any of pre-jury had a chance.
Right.
So really,
it appears that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people, because she watches the live feeds, and I'm more like following on Twitter, and like a lot of people were calling foul. Like, you know, that was like the main thing. Like right in the beginning of the season, everyone was like, was this even fair? Even like the guys versus the girls, like having kind of an unfair advantage in the first few competitions. You know, just the balance was off, and you know we were jumping up and down in our bedroom when you won that competition because you know you went in there. We're cheering for you, but you still had a lot of things stacked against you that are out of your control. So you did the best with what you had, and the other thing is so Breely, and they're saying that Dave Vaughn is going to be your vote, but is that something that they're saying who's our favorite player going to be?
Yeah, who's yours? Eric, let's everybody guess. I don't know. Do you know who you want to pick for America's favorite player? You guys do?
Yes.
Who do you think? Do you want to share or do you want to keep it like for later?
Oh, I want to share.
Share!
Actually, I'll just say this because I know what Nicole's going to say. So I'm going to say my vote is available to be bought, fandom. Nicole and I both have the same answer, guys.
The answer is Davon.
Yay! So Breely, it's me, Breely. You said Devon. Did everyone else say Devon? So they guessed what you wanted to say correctly.
She's such the epitome of what an AFP is, what an AFP should be, especially for an all-star season. Davon, who's played the game twice, epic DR sessions.
Yeah.
She won her veto. I would love to see her get it.
I feel like Devon has so much heart, especially how I've seen her throughout this season. It was really fun to watch her. You know, I think one of the reasons why she stumbled a lot of different ways, and you can tell us, please let us know what you thought. I think it's because her heart is so pure. And I think when things go wrong in the house, she's like highly affected by them. And there you go. That's a whole other thing. You know, you guys have not only the game that you have to play, but the dynamics of all the psychology in it too, that you have to manage. And sometimes it's hard for people to manage those things in their normal life, let alone being on TV 24/7, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, so Davon was a beautiful soul. So I don't know. Do you guys have anything else you want to say about that? I was going to ask another question. I know time's going to fly.
We got all the time in the world. What do I want to say about Devon? I think I personally, no offense, don't think that anybody who's won it before should win it again.
I agree.
So that's number one.
Except we would love to give it to you, Nicole.
I agree, unless it's me. That's make that exception.
Right. Go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
And I think it would really, obviously, I think that the money would be really beneficial to Davon, for her child, college or school or stuff like that. I always, when it comes to America's favorite player, I like to vote for the person that I feel it would help the most, the person who entertained me the most. It doesn't really necessarily have to do with gameplay for me, but like Nicole said, Devon's previous seasons, her going into that house to represent the Black Lives Matters movement, that was her focus, that was her cause. She was willing to jeopardize her own game for that.
Yeah.
I think that deserves much to be rewarded.
Yeah, couldn't have said better. I think we would all be like this. Yes. Preach it, Eric. Preach it. I really do love her. Do you miss anyone in the house? I hope that's not a trick question, but is there anyone that let me rephrase that. Is there anyone that you felt were able to have a bond with for the time that you were in the house?
Oh, yes. So, again, maybe because last season I was there for 100 days. So when I got home, I missed the majority of them. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to be with them at all times. This season, maybe because I left so early, I feel like I didn't get the time to really build bonds. But hands down, I think everybody knows this. Kevin, he was my final two, so I can't wait to be reunited with him. And of course, David and because he's my BB21 fam.
Yes.
To me, family is forever, so I love David. Keisha is somebody, I love to share this because her and I were the first two out. So we always, like, you know, right now, people pre-jurors, we talk about how the season's going and how we feel. We wish we could have played more.
Right.
And I think, of course, Yvonne's in that category as well. But, you know, I have to wait for her to get her AFP. You know, we could both take our AFP money and go and, I don't know.
Go to Disney World.
Dating show so we can eat in bed because we're the two single ladies.
Oh, please do that, will you? Do it for me. I would watch that. I'd be all up on it.
Now I have a question. So Karin's all scripted here. I go off script here. So I have a question. It's kind of deep, okay? But that's how I am. So I always think about like if I was on the show, you know, I watch you guys and I try to put myself in your position. And I think about like if I were picked to be on Big Brother, I would not go in there as Sean, how I am normally, because I'm a very sensitive guy. And I know that would be used against me, I think, if people knew that about myself. So I would like create a character that I would try to stick with in the game. That being said, people watching the show would see that character and get the complete wrong impression as to who I truly am as a person outside the house. Do you think that that's true for a lot of people who play the game, where they're judged on how they act in the game, but in reality they're playing like the game a certain way, and that's not who they are?
Yeah, give your thoughts as a viewer, yes.
Okay, here's my thoughts. What you just described doesn't, I think, apply just to Big Brother. I think it applies to a lot of people in their jobs, and I will say it applies to me doing shows. That was the hardest thing that I had to learn 10 years ago when I started doing shows was I can't sit in front of the camera and be Eric that people know me as in the real world, because people say the most horrible, horrific, rude things to you in shows, in chat. They'll mock you on social media. I was taking it all so personally, and it made me like shrink down. Then one day I was like, oh, I'm just going to be Eric. I'm going to be sarcastic and funny and smile a lot and da-da-da-da-da-da. And not that I'm not like that when the cameras go up, but like...
There's more, it's multifaceted.
There's more to you.
Yeah, and I think a perfect example is like when I do like an Instagram story and you kind of like upload the behind the scenes of this, where like, you're like, all right, I need to film this Instagram story. Here we go. You kind of like turn it on. So I think it's the same way in the Big Brother house. To go back to your question, Sean, there's people that enter it, and if you're able to make that duality and put on that mask of like, I am not Nicole the person, I am Nicole the game player, I give that major credit. I've seen some people do it. I think it's super impressive on a game level. It is unfortunate when people then in the outside world think that's the real you, but the nature of Big Brother, you have to be manipulative, you have to be conniving, you have to be a liar. So it's tough because I respect it when I see it. One of my favorite players of all time is Paul. But people outside the game are like, oh gosh, no, he's a liar, he manipulated, and it's like, yeah, he had to. Yeah. And I almost admire people like that, because someone like me, I would always go in the DR and be like, I can't do it. There is no game Nicole, real life Nicole. I was like, I just am what I am. And yes, you turn it on at certain instances and whatnot, but I always struggled because I couldn't separate sometimes, and the emotions would come through, and that hurt me personally will come through, or this person I'm closer to, so I want them to stay as opposed to that. So for me, it kind of bled together.
I love that answer.
That's a good answer, yeah.
Someone else said they really like that question, Sean. And Nicole and Eric, you guys both answered that like really like awesomely. So I was going to say that I loved Paul too. And I know a lot of people have very strong negative feelings about Paul. And he really, unfortunately, you know what? I want to say one thing about Paul is that friendship bracelet thing. I always thought that set him up for failure, because in your mind, because Big Brother's a mental game too. And so in your mind, if you think you get that bracelet, because remember you had to give the bracelets out to everybody, a select few, they probably felt that they were super tight with him. They all stick together. And then in the end, he's backed up in a corner. He has no other choice but to unfortunately cut everyone. I did think Paul was a really good player, Nicole. I agree with you 100%.
My argument is he is the best, and then behind him is Tyler. I always say Paul and Tyler just blow me away.
Well, when I was watching Eric's face,
I would love to talk about Tyler. Tyler's coming, everybody. But what were you doing?
I love them as people. I wouldn't say best of all time, but I love them as people.
We're too. I'm saying the more modern. Too.
Right.
I'm not factoring in.
You're forgetting about Chicken George. You're forgetting about.
No, but I feel the same way.
They're all up there.
Literally, Nicole, I would have picked those two and said the same thing. But I say we can bounce back and forth even if you don't.
Yeah, and I
agree.
started. The reason why I started thinking that was your season 21, because I mean I've watched all the seasons, but we started our YouTube channel kind of like right before season 21, so that was our first season that we like covered like hardcore. We were putting tents up in our bedroom and like making our own little campfire scenes. Like we were total nuts. And when Cliff did his Walk on the Moon impression, we did the same thing on our YouTube channel. Like we had so much fun with it.
We had so much fun with your season.
Yeah, your season was a lot of fun. And and then when
it was.
Everyone had a lot of like strong opinions.
Unique personalities.
Everyone had a lot of strong opinions on that season. But then when I saw you guys post season and you guys were all like getting along, having fun, that's when I started thinking. I was like, I think we're a little quick to like make judgments sometimes because.
Absolutely, and that's like the perfect example. Last season was what it was. I'm not saying there wasn't bad. I'm not saying there wasn't ugly. However, having lived in the All-Star house for 2 weeks and it being like dead, I missed the group dinners. I missed the fashion shows. I missed the Cliff reenacting stuff and pranking just pranking it back. Me and Tommy making dolls. I missed just good old-fashioned fun. And you could say what you want about that group, but we're very dynamic. And yes, we were ruthless in that game. But as you're saying, when we came out of it, like there is no like me and Tommy are very, very close. He could very easily be like, you evicted me over Holly. Go screw yourself. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
No, we're very close. Tristy, I'm very close with. I evicted her. And that's what's so incredible about our cast. Like we are, but we separated and we see, you know what I mean?
I think it's typical for an all-star season though. So for example, I don't want to speak for you. I'm going to assume you went in feeling like you were playing for fans who told you inspired them. You were playing for your brand, the content shows. Kevin, I think Kevin was really playing for himself. My point is, each person I feel like has an agenda. Devon was playing for Black Lives Matters. Tyler was playing to right the wrong of his season. On a new cast, everyone's on a blank slate. We don't know any of these people.
Right.
It's easier for them to joke around and have fun. I feel like on an all-star season, let's say Danny, for example, I don't see Danny being someone who's going to be like, all right, Nicole, put on your pom-poms and your unicorn thing, and I want to do the conga around the bathroom with you. She's going to be like, ooh, I don't know if that's going to be part of my image or brand that I want to
Yeah.
You need Tommy to do that.
Continuation of that. Another season of fun.
And I think Danny is one of Nicole knows, she was one of my all-time favorite people, so much so that I begged Nicole to try and get her to come on the show, and then the season kicks off with Danny laughing about how she ghosted us.
And that was horrible. Like, on a side note, I mean, I'm saying this with all sincerity. Like, watching that I did not like that. I didn't like that at all. It upset me.
And I had no idea. I'm thinking because Nicole had brought it to my attention, and I was like, people know me from last season. They know I don't bring personal into the game. It's a game. And then when you come out of the game and hear, we ghosted the podcast, and now she's going to come after us. We need to get her out before she gets us out. I'm like, that's why you're coming after me?
Yeah, one has nothing to do with the other, right? One has nothing to do with the other.
No, they had an agenda, but I will say this. Nicole turned around, I feel like, and apologized for that. I feel like Danny turned around and they owned up to that to you and apologized for it. So I think that was big of them.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that.
That's really huge because a lot of people do not get the opportunity to have that happen. But I was thinking about the funny things you were saying about BB21 and Tommy, in the end, that was killing me. What was happening with Tommy? It was killing me. When Jackson did something, I can't even remember. It was in the end. He made Tommy get all upset. And I was really upset about that. Okay, I love Tommy, and I miss his dances. When he'd make up dances and stuff. I always wanted to join you guys.
No, you make
I
me.
was shocked to not see him. when I walked into the All-Star house. I was like, where's Tommy?
He was on my list. You were on my list. David was on my list. Where's Tommy? Okay.
Come on now.
She just wanted half of season 21 back, I guess.
And then I was like, well, Cliff and Tommy, well, and probably Christy and David and Opie. And then I was like, well, they can't have half the cast be 21.
It's so funny because say what you want. People can say what they want to say about BB21, but I love Christy. I always did like Christy. I feel like sometimes people were throwing tomatoes in my face when I would try to stick up for Christy at times.
Well, she's a manifester girl too, so they just
manifest.
Oh,
I know, but I always felt like there was another side, like we were talking about. I always felt there was another side to Christy, and same with Tommy. Anywho,
Yep. And
love Ovi, love Hog,
I love
Cliff
eating
Hog.
watermelon in the shower. Like that's one of my favorite hobbies. I just
If you want to see more of Tommy dancing, you should follow his TikTok. He always puts up a TikTok dance. Actually, that's a funny story. I think if people don't know, Nicole insisted on playing honestly before the season. She would not talk to people, tell anyone she was on. Lord knows I tried to get her to. She was like, I'm gonna play fair, that's cheating. I was like, whatever.
I love that.
When people saw that barbecue that we had with Christy and Tommy, and at that barbecue, it was like Nicole and I sitting at one side of the table, Tommy and Christy sitting at the other. Well, Christy was more right next to me. I swear it was like a battle of wits between Christy and I, because in my mind, Tommy was on, but he was never going to tell us. And obviously, Christy is his best friend, so she knew. And then same thing for Nicole and I. So Christy and I are just having conversations like, so what was Tommy doing last Wednesday? Why is Tommy watching all the past episodes, Christy? That's weird. Like, I wanted to get to the bottom of it to find out if Tommy was on, and Christy was trying to get to the bottom of it with me to find out if Nicole was on.
That's
So
absolutely
we're just like playing this mind game back and forth with each other while we're eating hot dogs.
Love it.
oh.
Oh, and then Nicole set up and gave a speech. She loves to.
I said I wanted to say something, and I shouldn't have worded that way because everybody thought had an announcement the camera crew was popping out.
Oh, what? Really? Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's right.
Just my family was there, and Eric was there. My best friend from childhood was there. My neighbors were there. Tommy and Christy was there. So I just wanted to say something as somebody who hasn't had a lot of experiences, hasn't had a lot of friends growing up. I wanted to say something about to those of you who have been with me, to those of you who are new in my life, new friends. I just wanted to say a nice thing, and I got emotional. But in my saying, hey, I want to share something, everybody's like, why are you telling us this? Are you about to announce your own big brother? And I didn't think that through.
Tommy and Christy position themselves towards the entrance. All of a sudden they sat up. I'm like, okay, we're ready. Okay, go ahead.
No camera crew, I swear.
I was trolling because being in the TV Co family, I felt like I had some inside information on you. So every day I'm looking at your Hello Friends schedule and your reality recap schedule, and I'm like, okay, she has a show this week, so she's not in quarantine yet.
Yeah, we were. All of us were doing that.
I was all down the floor while I was gone.
Nobody this is the part that frustrates me when people try and say, Nicole didn't take the game seriously or didn't, try hard. It's the 2 months before this season started, Nicole was 24/7. We both were. We had to create triple the content at times. We had to maintain our normal schedule and then be creating content for when she was gone to look like it was still happening in reality. And other people didn't have to do that, but Nicole's persona was, we do shows every day and podcasts.
Almost banked a month worth of.
I don't think we slept the 2 months before that show, but it was such a crazy time. But I think or you deserve a lot of credit for how much you put into everything that went in before you even got on that show. Where you know, I feel like other people put in a lot to make money off of fans. Like, I'm going to make the shirts and I'm going to sell them and here's my mug and whereas a person like Nicole is like, okay, now did you make the stickers? And I want you to give the stickers away at this time. And I want you, like, I only have 10 shirts, but I may give one away each week. And I'm going to create special vlogs.
Oh.
So that's why I get frustrated when people try and paint her as something that, you know, she's not.
I'm so glad that you guys had took the opportunity to come on here too, because I think it's important for all of us to know what it's like to be in your shoes, because we might think we know because we're able to watch, you know, through BB camera, but there's no way we could possibly understand what it's like to be in there. And I think about it too, because, you know, there's things in our real life that we deal with that are similar that I was watching you have to deal with in the house. And I just thought that's amplified so much. And then you don't have any of your family with you that you can talk to and help sort out your thoughts and things. And some of these people, we're going to talk about Tyler, because even Tyler, I heard Tyler talk to Enzo and try to tell Enzo to save himself. You guys know what I'm talking about, that Cody was going to put him up, and that was obviously a lie. But what if Enzo didn't know that, and then Enzo would have been so pissed at Cody. So that part of the game, you never know if people are lying to you or not. That's so hard.
You're having conversations. I think even Tyler said this in the DR. You're having conversations where you're like, you're not buying this. I know you're not buying this, but we're both going to pretend you're buying this. And that's just so weird. And it kind of, what is so interesting is it is also life in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we all, you know, act a certain way at work. We all act a certain way at home. We all act a certain way with our friend groups. And I think a lot of times, going back to the beginning of what you're saying, we get caught up in the fact that these are human beings that are multifaceted and have emotion and have thoughts and have paranoia and aren't sure, and you know, you physically don't feel well today, so you're not thinking straight, and that all factors in. Sometimes as viewers, we view it almost like characters in a movie, and it's like, no, don't go into the scary basement, go the other way, and we feel the need to do that.
Yeah.
It's a person, and that's why when you talk to them in the real world, you're like, oh wait, no, okay, now I get it, because you're a person.
Yeah, that's such a good analogy.
I think a good example would be, as fans, sometimes we fall into these same traps. We all love Janelle, and then we all love Nicole Anthony, and now they're on the season together, and so we're all just rah. They need to work together, but that's not necessarily your game plan. And also, when you go in there, you don't know what her intentions are. She might have no plans of working with you. So we see the DR where she's like, I totally want to work with Nicole, but you don't see that. So you're trying to piece it together and figure it out.
The perfect way to see that is when fans watch the live feeds. And they're like,
that's what I was going to say.
Is Janelle, is she, and then you see the DR session on TV and you're like, Nicole's so stupid, how can you not believe that? And it's like,
But you didn't see it.
Yeah.
Nicole didn't say it.
I thought you were going to give your perfect example. What was the thing from this season? Oh, the powers.
Yes.
When we didn't know as fans who had that third power, and Twitter was going crazy, and we were all speculating. Nicole was like, that right there, everyone, is one example of what it is like to play that game. So you can all judge the player. You don't know the one littlest thing about who has power. Now imagine 8 people all attacking you, cameras on you 24/7, people manipulating and you know nothing. That was really eye-opening to me when you said that. It really made me understand it in a different way.
Yeah.
Everybody on Twitter was like, Tyler has it because he's acting this way. Nope, Danny has it. Well, I thought Nicole acted weird when she walked out of the room, then walked back in. Well, did you see when Memphis was walking around? And David had it.
Right, David. I love David.
More on Twitter going, no, Nicole was acting weird. I saw her acting weird. And you were wrong. So now imagine being in that house, and when you tell yourself that person's acting weird, and you're not finding out the truth. So now that just you separate, and it just snowballs. And I think that's something that what exactly you were saying, how Janelle and me, people have fans of Janelle, and people that are fans of myself. I'm a fan of Janelle. Nobody walks into that house and is like, I'm gonna turn on my ally.
Oh my gosh, right?
So much fun. Nobody thinks that. So I didn't go into that I'm not gonna trust people on purpose. I felt how I felt in those moments. And I think sometimes people just get caught up in like the whole, how could you not see it? You did it on purpose. And it's like, I didn't do it on purpose, because why would I question an ally?
Exactly.
I can't help
Yes.
it in that moment, but I was like, are you? Aren't you? What?
The paranoia runs rampant up in that BB
Well, then you got,
house.
you got
Right?
from our perspective, which, and you get other people that get involved too. Like if I remember correctly, I think you were getting like some stuff from Kevin that was like derailing some of your thought processes, and you don't know what's real. We do, but you don't. So I can see how that could be like so much harder from your perspective.
Yeah, a lot with me, it's like I get like my ride or die. So Kevin for me was my ride or die, and for me, the ride or die is family. That's like me talking to one of my sisters.
Mhm.
You're telling me something, and you are my final two.
Trust it.
I'm going to take it as gospel. And so I'm not blaming him at all, because it all factors in. Everything factors in. But it did contribute to my spiral. And I think what irritates me the most, like, I'm a fan of Janelle, and I say that, and I still get people go, "Oh, bullshit, bitch, shut up."
Oh, that's terrible.
It's a fact. I was a fan of Janelle. I still am a fan of Janelle. And me not trusting her in a game has nothing to do with how I feel about her in the real world. It doesn't. And I know people maybe don't believe that. I still get people on Twitter that are like, "Shut your mouth. You're making up. Don't pretend you like her." And it's like, I do. I know my truth, and I know I do like her. So it's unfortunate when fans take game mode and bring it into real life when they don't.
But here's the
In
thing.
your brain, they don't know.
And
Right.
then here's what I tell Nicole. If you look at anybody that complains about, like, let's say, how Nicole was towards Janelle, which in my mind was game. It was Nicole trying to survive. Like, we all know as viewers, Janelle and Kaiser were targets week one. Now, my take on it that I don't say a lot on my show is, I do believe that Janelle and Kaiser cared about Nicole, but I also believe they needed Nicole. They know without her, they did not
Right.
have the number. So to pretend like they're with them campaigning for Nicole
It's a campaign for themselves.
is a campaign for themselves, which I think people don't acknowledge. And it was the thing, as we have heard as this season has gone on. Devon has said it, Christmas has said it. It is what made the house not want to keep Nicole. So, because they wanted to go after Janelle and Kaiser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were literally one-track minded, right?
That was one of the toughest things to hear was, what was it, Christmas and Devon on the live feeds. And Christmas was like, Nicole just got hit by a bus, and, Janelle and Kaiser, talking about her, we need her to stay. She got hit by a second bus, and that was it. And I was like, oh gosh, I didn't have a chance in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
It was just the way the cards fell. It was unfortunate for all of us. And I went out second, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think
And so it is what it is, yo.
Yo.
I love you.
that's what's frustrating is that I know, like, I see you. You're not a person that, like, it's so easy. Like, people want Nicole to blame Kevin. They want Nicole to, like, her fans will want her to blame Janelle, blame Case, like, blame. And I respect Nicole as someone who's like, it's the game. Like, I didn't win enough. We as a group didn't win enough. I made mistakes. Yeah, I mean, you admitted it, that you should have trusted them more, but you don't know. So it's a game.
Yeah.
My whole point was I can't take it seriously when people complain about those aspects about Nicole, but then if you go look on their social media, they're totally fine with their favorite doing it. They'll be like, destroy, eat her heart out. Nicole said head on a stick.
Yeah, double standards.
Oh my God, I can't.
Well,
Yeah.
It's been a whole new, this season we've kind of changed, like getting on TV and we used to just be like Instagram only. Then we started getting in Twitter, and man, that's where the whole new universe is. Like
Brutal. The brutal.
just like
now.
we scheduled this meeting with you guys today, and like I had to block like 10 people. I'm like, man, like
Nicole, like, mad love to you. And I'm looking at these, messages everyone's posting up here, and you've got a lot of love going around, a lot of support. And
Thank you, everybody.
You are who you are, and you are holding yourself really well. And I don't need to tell you this, but just keep doing you, Bobo, because you're doing amazing. Okay, I'm serious.
Thank you so much.
And what do you always say? Pay the people who matter. Pay.
Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind.
Oh,
Yep.
that's amazing.
It's
I would have
so
totally
true.
messed that one up. That was awesome. But I was going to say, too, and even Tyler said in his exit speech with Julie that he just kind of got in his own head and he kind of felt like he lost himself there. And that was very obvious. And Tyler's awesome. He's one of my favorite players. And I was like really upset because I knew there was no way Ty was going to be able to get himself out of this one. And I think it's me, Breely. She said earlier, hopefully she's still here, she wanted to ask all of us, especially you guys, if there's a bitter jury, do you think, this season?
I'll just answer it quickly because everyone wants to hear it. I'm sure people have more interest in yours. I'm going to say no, honestly, because we saw Ian being fine with Nicole's move now. We saw Danny saying that she would vote for Cody, even though she feels most betrayed by him. I actually think we're not going to have that bitter of a jury. That's my short answer.
I don't think it's going to be umbrella blanket bitter toward everybody jury, but I think as it's life, there's people that have certain feelings towards certain people. So you're saying Danny's not hurt by Cody. She seemed a little hurt by Nicole. So, keep that in mind. Ian, I think, is not a bitter jury in any way, shape, or form. He is, the way he just worded himself yesterday, I was like, yes, Ian, that's the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
He gets it.
Yes, absolutely. And then you have someone, Davon, who I think I shared this yesterday. She had told me in the house, and the feeds were on, so I could share this. She said, I voted for Nicole to win against Paul, and she never thanked me. That left my mouth. So I was like, there's a little something there with, Davon, if Nicole were to be in the final two. So I don't think it's like blanket, everybody's bitter with everybody, but I think there's little things here and there that people have, their opinions of each other and have like slight biases, whether it be toward or away from somebody.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I don't think there can be a quote unquote that bitter jury at this moment because everyone left, right? Except Enzo, who's part of the committee. And I'm sorry, I see the committee as a blanket. You all made the same exact moves. You all did the same exact thing all season long going forward. Whatever two of you are on that block at the end, your speeches to me, if I was a committee member in the jury, isn't really going to matter.
Right.
And same thing if I'm not. So I don't know how. I think Nicole Frenzel is the only one who's in trouble. Devon made it very clear in her eviction speech. The person that lied to me, I will turn that jury against you. And we knew, and Nicole Frenzel knew she was talking about her.
Yes.
Danny seemed a little scorned by the fact that she went home next to Nicole.
But
here's she
the
did.
Important part. We know that Danny was the one that started that, and now Danny is in jury with Devon. Will Danny come clean in order to help Nicole get the win and say, look, Devon, it actually wasn't her, it was my thing, or will she not?
Which could help David not be as, I feel like David was a little tiffed at some people.
Yeah, someone said that here.
Because he got evicted, I feel like, I see chat like saying David's a
little bitter.
No, I don't think he'd be a bitter juror, but right now he's a little bitter.
I think, would you think David would get over it? Like I know David, you know David. He comes across to me like I know him, but like he would get over it. He seems so even keel, David. Is he?
Yeah, I think he'd get over it. When it comes down, push comes to shove, he has to vote for somebody. I definitely think he would. But in that moment, just got evicted, and I know he was so driven. He wanted to go to the end. So I think for him, it's more so like, damn it, I didn't make it type thing.
And that makes me think, I wanted to say something about Danny too. I agree with you, Eric. I feel like they're probably not going to be bitter. Like Ian is like amazing. Is he not? Hello. He's such a classy dude. I love him. And Kevin's a sweetheart. But Danny really did seem pissed at Nicole. She's taking this really personally, Danny. What do you guys think?
I don't want to say jealous. It's not the word for it. But it's almost like, yes, I'm close friends with her, and yes, she was my girl, but why? Why would they keep her over me? I played better. I was doing more.
Yeah.
I was earning more. Saying, the word's not jealous, but it's kind of like
competitive over each other.
Yeah.
Right?
She should have gotten that pre-game alliance. She'd been fine.
Oh, who do you guys think is going to win here? Okay, because can I say something funny? And I want you guys to comment too, you know, all the people that are watching. So Enzo makes me laugh so bad because, like, sometimes I'm like, before my main man Tyler left, and I'm still upset, okay? I'm bitter. But anyway, when he left, I was really sad because I was going to, like, hope for Enzo to win, but he's making me frustrated because he was saying that he's ruthless and, like, all this stuff, but really he's not. Do you think Enzo's going to win?
He's as ruthless as our kitty
you,
cat.
Eric. At one point I did, but not anymore.
I am always wrong, and I always joke around. I'm like, I'm right, because I'm always wrong. But in the rare case when I'm right, I really do love, and I told you so, I'm right. And I've been telling everybody about Enzo for weeks. I was like, he is lying. He does not care to save David. He does not care to save Kevin. He's playing America, and he's playing production.
Right.
And I feel to win the game, you have to play the house, play production, play America. It's why he's lying in his DRs. He's telling production what they want to hear.
Yes.
In turn, it's what he knows America wants to hear. But every time he gets put in a position where he has to back it up,
Yeah.
he folds to the house because he's going to fold to power. He's not going to jeopardize his game.
I agree.
So I think it's very smart what he's doing. I don't think he has a chance to win.
Right.
No.
See, that's the
I see
thing.
him as like a third place, like a me last season. I see him getting there, but not
Is
getting
it?
That's going to hit him hard because he really thinks he's the best player. At least that's how he was saying in his DR this last episode.
So is it going to be
there.
Nicole, Cody?
I love Enzo.
I do love Enzo. Cherie is, hopefully I said that right. She said, what did she say? She said something about, Enzo annoys me, but I love him all at the same time. And that's that's how I feel. Y'all too? Yeah. He wears his sunglasses. Nicole, what do you think about people wearing their sunglasses in the house?
I get that house is so bright.
Oh, really?
Up until like I guess I'm not doing like measurements, but beyond where the cameras are, it is all just high ceiling like a Home Depot, and these studio lights everywhere, always glaring in your face. Like they don't turn off the lights because we don't have control of any of them. So I do understand people wearing sunglasses because if you just have sensitive eyes, it is these white lights everywhere all the time, just like.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that too, like trying to go to bed at night and waking up in the BB house must be cray-cray because of stuff like that. But I was thinking he was wearing his glasses because he was trying to hide something, like emotions or something. But it's really the lights.
I mean, maybe it's also, I think it's part of like his aesthetic. Like Zenzo.
Yo.
Meow, meow, baby.
He set up the thesis because of the lights. I mean, a lot of players always.
Oh, yeah.
I know Amanda Zuckerman was a big one that always wore sunglasses because she couldn't handle the light. Like a lot of people wear them, but yeah. I think people don't get that.
I know that seems weird. Okay, so, you know, I should ask you guys this. What's your pet peeve? I know it's random, but that's one of mine is when people wear sunglasses inside because I feel like they're trying to hide something, and I feel it's a little douchey. Okay. Anybody else?
I don't know. I wear my sunglasses all the time. She's mad at me. I don't know.
So Cherie says she remembers BB used to make them take them off. The glasses. I didn't know that. Anywho.
It depends. If we're, I think I can share this. If we're filming like veto ceremonies, when the person opens the door, hey everybody, it's time for the veto ceremony. Especially if you're a nominee, they don't want you to have sunglasses on. Like production will say, Nicole, take your sunglasses. I mean, I can't wear them, but Nicole, take off your sunglasses, please, because they want to get that shot of you going, gosh, I hope he used the veto. Like,
yeah.
They want that expression. So usually during those ceremonies, no sunglasses are allowed.
That makes sense because they stop the sleeping and stuff. I have a question. So, okay, so we've experienced like BB21 and BB22, and you experienced it more than all of us, and you were a super fan before that. So us being super fans and you with like inside information now,
Okay.
what do you think BB23 should do to get us back on track again to where the game is more competitive and more fair to everyone in the house?
So I definitely feel it's going to be all newbies. I don't see them, doing like returnees. I've argued maybe one returnee, but I think if they were going to do like a coach's season, they would wait a year. I feel like next year is going to be all new people, just to add more to like the crop. And I think what they need to do, something I've always argued, is I think everybody should play veto. I don't understand why only 6 people can play. I think everybody should play it.
Yeah.
Turn the house on its ear more. And I don't know, I just think more needs to be done. I don't know how. There needs to be something like another competition or there needs to be something else in there.
Eric's got some insight here.
I appreciate you not stealing my answer. Everybody play veto because that would be more money to invest in.
They don't have money.
Well, clearly they don't. They couldn't even give you guys outfits this season. So, yeah, okay, sure, right. Okay, that's why Ian was in his space outfit, and he had like 90 versions of it. Bring it. But they only need to do one thing. It costs them no money. They don't have to change one thing on a production level. Stop telling them the vote count. It would stop the House from doing what the HOH wants. It would stop people voting together. It would create so much paranoia. It would give us great feeds. Most importantly, it would stop the House from all voting together, giving us boring ass seasons.
Like that a lot.
Right.
That's interesting.
All they need to do. Done.
Yeah.
Chubby Bunny said the same thing.
Yeah. It would solve every problem.
And with everybody playing veto?
No.
Listen, you don't understand. When I was on the sidelines and watched 6 people play veto, and I was sitting there going, I'm their placement nominee. That sucked.
That's the game.
To play another comp.
That's the game.
I love you too.
The game is not getting your name pulled out of a hat. That's ridiculous.
Then you should have a better social. You should have a better.
Y'all's banter is the bomb of it. Nicole A fan 83, she says, yeah, 3 nominees could happen as well and force the POV holder to use it on me. Did that make sense? Or on one? I thought you said me. I thought you were being silly. Did that make sense?
It does.
Okay, good.
I will also say I don't hate what Big Brother Canada does. Big Brother Canada, the HOH is not allowed to play in POV because that's stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
Why are we letting the HOH be able to do what they want to do again?
Which allows more room for other people to play the veto.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, fine. I'm fine with that. Don't
Yeah.
let the HOH play.
Eric will settle with that.
Those are 2 great. Like I didn't even think about those.
Yeah.
Bring back the food comps.
Yes.
The team building, just a quote fun. We're a group. We're gonna win food for the week. I think it's fun. It's entertaining. It leads to camaraderie and team building, but it can also affect the game. Because I'm mad at you because you put us on slop this week, or you threw it because you don't like that person on your team.
Yeah.
That led to more of a dynamic.
Get rid of slop completely, replace it with the food comps
Yep.
again, and whatever the teams win, that's what they're eating. Slop legitimately adds nothing to the game.
Right.
It makes people tired,
Sick.
sick.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
So lethargic. I was not myself. I was not energetic. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to dance around. I literally, after I was a have-not, had 2 days where I was cheerful and dancing and talking to the feeds, and I found my pom-pom headband, and I was so joyous. And then I was nominated, so that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Being a have-not just made me ugh.
I agree. I don't think the slop adds anything. And I miss those food comps. And I saw someone in chat say to get America more involved. And that's what I missed from when I first got into Big Brother back in the day. We got to vote on what the food punishment would be. And that was so much fun. And then another thing I missed, and this has nothing to do with the game. This is just stupid Big Brother fan. But they used to theme the head of household room so cool. Every time you get head of household, it'd be completely different. And then they did away with that. And I missed that.
Remember they used to do movies and stuff? They take you to the movie.
Luxury things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And
what's
that's
that?
argue too. I think everybody should be in jury. And if that's an even amount, odd amount, whatever it may be, maybe give America a vote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and America has voted for it, turn the key. Because my whole thing is, yes, I went home second, but that's social game. It's like someone like Keisha. You should have made a good first impression before you sent Keisha home week 2. Like,
No.
I take it back. I'm sorry.
I think it's a lot of your social game, like, because I feel like in the beginning of the game you get a lot of the or oh no, is there a battle back? Oh, we better, it makes only the people
Yes.
we can beat. Like, I think there needs to be more of like everybody's going to jury, so you need to have social game from start to finish.
I love that. Maybe they'll, who knows? I mean, maybe it's a lot for us to wish for, but I'm hoping that they'll start restructuring the game a little bit since it's kind of like after what happened this season. Right, guys?
I think so. I think with the big alliance last season, and everybody's like, well, now we have All-Stars. It'll be so much better. And it kind of happened again, but not
Worse.
in an interesting way.
Yeah.
That's so
I
true,
think
Nicole.
something has to change. And you guys all thought BB21 sucked.
Isn't that so funny? It's so funny.
Yeah, we were weird because we I mean, obviously you got those big brother seasons that everyone's gonna love. That when you had some of these big names in there. Like I'm a huge Dan fan. I follow him on Twitch now, and I follow his gaming streams because I'm a gamer. And so I think a lot of people compare the seasons against each other. But if you kind of look at it by itself, like season 21 there's a lot of colorful characters in there. Like we were having a lot of fun with it. And then this season, like when you watch our YouTube videos, we're having a hard time coming up with like fun content to do. Like we just ended up kind of just talking.
Yeah, we missed the quirky personalities, kids.
I've literally been covering Big Brother for 10 years. And there have been celebrities and OTTs and all those things mixed in there. I've never had such trouble trying to cover a season as this season. And it started with me in the intro.
That's so funny, Eric, because the last video I did on my YouTube channel, I was like, well, Tyler's screwed. What else am I going to talk about? This really sucks. I don't know what else.
And I thought it was just me. I'm like, is the magic ruined because I've already been in that house? Like, am I no longer a fan? Is that why I feel this way? But seeing that everybody else feels the same way, I'm like, all right,
No.
hopefully if it's a better season next time, like I'll be more invested.
Well, I got news for you. I do not think it will be all new people. I think COVID, unfortunately, will still be a thing. And next summer, or a risk next summer, that they will not want to, they will not be going through the casting process.
Oh, that'll be so sad.
I hope that I am, or I so hope that I am wrong.
Right.
Attorneys?
Well, first of all, I think we're getting celebrity in January.
Yes.
If you personally ask me, I think we're getting celebrity in January.
Same.
Ooh.
Then
Love it.
I think that, yeah. I think
Jinx.
Matthew 273 says, "Hi, Nicole." I feel like I've kept you guys for a really long time, and the last thing that I want to do is bring you on and then have you go, my goodness, this was like 1,000,000 hours long.
no, this is lovely. I mean, am I allowed to ask you guys a question?
Please.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
I need advice. What is like your most favorite thing for you two about doing a show together?
Can I go first?
Yeah, that was a fun question.
So to keep it short, because there's a lot of dynamics to this, but before we started doing this, she was a dance teacher, and we did our whole marriage. That's what she did. We've been married for 17 years now, and for 15 years, she owned a dance studio. I supported her as the loyal husband who knows nothing about dance. And I've always been into production, cameras, gaming, but I never did anything with it. It was just a hobby. And then I kind of got this weird idea that I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I created it, never did anything with it. But she decided that, she's ready to try something new in life. So she retires from dance and she sees what I'm doing and she's like, hey, I kind of want to do that too. So I ditched my YouTube channel and I made Life After Neverland. And it got to the point, like, obviously now we're putting more effort in this year to grow, but it wasn't about that in the beginning. We were going out and we were doing fun things every weekend. We're traveling, and now we're getting back in it again. We're planning some new trips now that COVID's gonna hopefully start. And we did a whole bunch of stuff. It was the best thing we ever did for our marriage because we sit here and we have to work together. So like you have to like learn how to work together on camera and not talk over each other. And then afterwards we brainstorm, how can we make it better? And then we start brainstorming what our next trip's going to be. It just brings so much excitement into your life where normally you go to work, you come home, you watch TV. You go to work, you come home, you watch TV. This is the greatest thing we've ever done for our marriage.
I bet you two have a lot of fun memories just by doing this alone. But as far as Disney goes, I know that it's chemistry. So when I used to be put with a different Peter Pan, I would get really upset because
I was the best.
I had 2 other Peter Pans, one that liked men, so it's not a competition. Obviously, he knows Cliff. Anyway, his name was Cliff, but Cliff and Sean were my 2 favorite Peter Pans, and when I would get other ones, it's kind of weird. Like if they wouldn't include me in their acting, and so I couldn't bounce off of them. I just kind of like I was in my own little island and they were in their own little island. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. But whenever I had Sean with me or Cliff, we would make it so fun. We would be able to get like the Japanese kids and everything without even being able to speak Japanese because they don't want us to as characters. We would get them to play Duck, Duck, Goose, and we would get Captain Hook and Mr. Smee in the mix of it. And we'd get people in circles and do dance parties and stuff, so it's chemistry. And you two have amazing chemistry. You really do.
I want to hear what your answer is. What's your favorite part of us doing shows together?
Yeah,
this is all.
Let's bounce it back.
We're getting to be last. Go ahead. What's your favorite part, Nicole?
Oh my gosh. It's hard to explain. Mine's not like one thing. Mine's a rant, and I
Okay, don't rant and keep it short.
Yeah, I had to sum mine up too. I get it.
It's a lot.
The short version is, and I won't get emotional, the short version is I've always been the child in my family that never knew what she wanted to do, and my sisters knew what they wanted to do in school, and they knew what they wanted to do with their job. They have amazing jobs, and they that was their niche. They feel it, and I was never like, this is my niche, this is where I'm meant to be. And I always felt very stuck and left out and not where I'm meant to be. And I know I like this kind of stuff, but I didn't even know how to like tackle it. And you taught me how to tackle it.
Oh.
Your dream?
And now, you help me find a niche. I feel
It's niche.
I call it niche. And
I call it niche.
I'm
Niche.
happy,
I'm so happy you're happy. Do you want to ask me?
What's your favorite part?
My favorite thing.
Everybody loves
My
it.
favorite thing, everyone, is that I never had like a little sister that I could annoy or like be mean to or scare and do things kind of like, look, Nicole, a spider.
He had that ready to go.
Look, I was going to be so mean that I decided not to mean. I was going to somehow doing it, like have it come down next to Nicole. I really thought you were going to get a way better scream than that.
Yeah.
I apologize, I tried.
No, listen, I would have loved to it. Let's do a take 2, and then Nicole has to fall off her chair. No, I'm just kidding, but that's what I would have done by accident. Listen, you guys are like basically the same version of us, which is kind of funny, actually.
He's my husband.
Yay!
Now, do you guys ever have those conversations like afterwards where like there's some I like to pick on her. I'm behaving myself today, but like sometimes when it's just us streaming, I like to give her a hard time, especially if we're having some drinks on the show. And then afterwards we'll go offline. She's like, "Why did you say that to me?" Do you guys ever have that moment where you're like, maybe?
Oh, I do believe you.
First of all,
when Nicole is trying to film things, sometimes he goes rogue, and I just want to get them done, like with promos, and that's uploaded, where it took me 11 tries, because every try, I was like, here's Eric, and he's like, governor, and I'm not doing that, I do it again. Nicole, it's not Eric, I'm like, that's not what we're doing, again, and like stuff like that, and I was like, I'm not in the mood to be messing around right now, like, just did it.
that's my favorite.
That's how this one is.
Can you relate?
He is.
But I think it's because we're New Yorkers, so we're sarcastic, and then I think Nicole and I are both people that grew up feeling like I grew up like not feeling accepted or in the cool kids group or any of those things. So in other words, it's always easier for me to make the joke or like be sarcastic or than to like say the real feeling. So I think that's why I do that.
Are you asking your true love?
No, I am not asking you through that. No,
I like your playful banter. I do. I like it.
Fine.
I like that. It is good. But yes, there are definitely times if I think what you were asking was, are there times when we say like, oh, that thing hurt my feelings?
Yeah.
Yes. We have definitely had those, and then we learned to have them on the podcast. Therapy session.
Oh, nice.
Therapy sessions where we talk things out on the podcast.
We do it in front of everyone, and honestly, it's easier for me because I know that you won't get so mean to me.
You guys will be talking about that on your next podcast.
This is your safe zone. Well, on the BB house, they had I like to do this with my followers sometimes when we're watching TV shows and such. I like to do Would You Rather. And what's really funny is, Nicole, I don't think you were in the house at the time, or at least you weren't in the room. It was a while ago. But it was Kevin, Cody, Danny, Ian. I think that was it. And Christmas. And they all did Would You Rather. And I only could get 3 of them. So I got Ian's, Kevin's, and Tyler's. This is for everyone, including people in the chat, if you want to answer the Would You Rathers, and it's not dirty. It's not like,
Oh,
Are you
it's
ready?
not dirty?
No, you guys want me to make them dirty?
I'm sorry, I got excited.
Oh, that's a different show. All right, well, this is Kevin's, okay? You guys ready? Would you rather, A, once a month have to smell someone's random underwear, that's what he said, or B, every week you have to have one meal that you eat out of the trash can? That's what Kevin said.
That was Kevin's?
Yes. So one is
Good
smelling,
grief.
once a month you have to smell random underwear, or once a week you have to eat out of the trash can.
Oh, man.
Which one would you choose?
But whose trash can?
That's so funny because Danny was asking like 20 questions and he was like, why are you always trying to get out of this? No, it's funny. Which trash can? Was that your question, Nicole?
Yes.
The Big Brother trash can.
Ew, because that's a good point. Like there's a toilet trash can and then there's the kitchen trash can.
Well, it's got to be food. You can't eat,
Your
like...
family trash can is a public trash can.
Oh.
And is there other stuff in the trash can, or is this just a clean trash can? It's like, this is to Kevin.
Is it bad?
This is so funny because this is how everybody was in the room when he asked that question. Let's say the BB one.
I was going to say the once a month thing because it's once a month as opposed to once a week. But then I really thought about it, and that's a stranger's, and I don't do well with smells, so I'd rather eat out of the trash can, especially if it's like my family trash can. That's just stuff my family threw out. So I would say once a week, eat out of the trash can.
Okay. What do you think, Eric?
This is easy because you did not put a time limit on the smelling, so I could technically just walk up and go, done, and walk away.
Yeah.
True.
Also, I would also argue people pay good money for this. So, and I am a sensitive food eater.
I'd rather eat something disgusting and smell something that requires smelling it. But I think that smell comp I did of.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
So there you
Oh,
go.
yeah, that was last season. I forgot about that.
I gotta put my face in.
I forgot about that one. Someone said it's like the Whacktivity comp of BB21.
Yeah.
Is that what
It looks like
I don't
most of the
remember
people in the chat went with underwear, except for Aaron, I think, went with garbage can. And I'm definitely on Eric's page here. Like for me, I'm like, okay, like I don't think I have a real powerful sniffer anyways. Like everyone who knows us, we are huge animal lovers. Like we literally have like 10 animals in our house right now. And
We have a farm.
if we walk in the house and like one of the cats like did something, like she'll know right away. She'll be like, someone peed.
Yeah.
And I walk in, I'm like, I don't smell nothing. It smells good to me, you know?
that's
So
sad, that's sad.
I'm going to take the underwear because I could barely smell anything anyway. So it's like, done. Okay.
But also, how close do you have to get to smell it?
Yeah.
You just like from far away, just be close. Because my fear too is if I'm close, my face will touch it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm
so
thinking-
maybe I would say just like right here, no touchy, just a little sniffy.
And do you have to get into like the crotch area, or can you just
Ew.
smell the waistband?
Ew. Okay, then I do garbage can.
Again, I would ask who's crotch, and then maybe I'm on board. And I am just like you, Karin. My husband
Aaron.
hates me. I literally walk into the house and I'm like, something smells. and I will literally make us walk around rooms until we can figure out what the smell is.
That's how I am.
I'm saying I'm not bothered by smells. Smells, but I feel like I could have just went, okay, done. So I'm eating whole meals.
I don't want to put something inside of my stomach that I now have to like regurgitate.
Ooh, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah. Fine, I'll sniff.
You can reset your sniffer by like smelling like some cologne or something, and now you're good.
I know.
And also fake smelling, you can't really fake it. I could just be like, oh, this
Yeah. Oh, this smells delicious. Okay.
All right, sniff it is.
Prove it. Prove I didn't sniff it.
We cracked that code.
Choice. Yep, story of my life.
This is funny because I feel like this is kind of like the house guest personalities, because here's Ian's. Okay, would you rather A, change your name permanently to Ignatz McSmellypants? Really, he said that. So,
well, put this on.
I swear. So Ian said this. So change your name permanently to Ignatz McSmellypants, or have permanent Cheeto fingers.
Oh, so here's my question. Now, I would legally change my name to that if I'm the one providing my undies for people to apparently smell from the photograph.
I like how you spun that right around, Nicole.
I hate Cheeto fingers. Listen, I have watched many a preschooler eat Cheetos or Doritos, and it's on the fingers.
Yeah.
And then they'll touch their fruit snacks. And
That's the worst.
They'll touch like a cupcake, and it's in the icing. Cheeto fingers are a no-go.
Erin in chat is saying Cheeto fingers yummy. She's thinking she can just keep eating Cheetos like all day.
I think it was Tyler, of course, Tyler with the hair. He was like, well, I don't know if I could do that because then I would get Cheetos in my hair.
You couldn't touch anything.
I don't even understand how that's a question. People don't, like, you would never want the hands. Obviously, you change your name, and people don't even call people, but like, people don't even get addressed as their real name.
Yes.
Or even use their real names, right, Gertrude?
Now, I'm not sure if it was Cody, but you're funny. I just heard what you said. Cody was, actually, I think it was Cody that said that. Like, you could just use a nickname, and then
Right.
Ian was like, no, you have to go by that name.
I like that Chubby Bunny in chat said power of Cheeto. You got the power of Cheeto.
I don't have a problem being called McSmellypants.
No, you would actually pick that name. Actually, fun story. So she doesn't game as much as I do. I like playing video games, but I'll drag her in every once in a while. And I had her playing World of Warcraft with me, and she named her character Queef Waffle, and then got reported and had to like rename her character. I've been playing video games.
I'm sorry.
I played WoW for 15 years. I've never gotten in trouble. She played for 1 month and she got like a slap on the wrist.
Funny. I'm sorry. I have a really immature sense of humor.
So
Don't judge me.
mixed smelly pants is definitely not a problem.
I'm very immature. That ain't a lie.
I always say I'm a child at heart, but I'm an old soul.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, now that you said that, my favorite podcast that Nicole and I did, because she is very much like that, is I went to Urban Dictionary and I took all the sex terms and I made Nicole guess what they were.
That sounds like a fun game because Nicole, did you know them?
Oh my gosh.
There's so many that I wouldn't know.
I know that, but I came up with some pretty creative positions.
That is such a great
and
idea.
things.
Like,
I'm very proud of
Well,
myself.
we came up with it because one day I went to Twitter.
No.
Nicole would drink tea, and the tea bag would.
Fights, by the way.
This was one of our fights.
Oh, the tea bag.
The tea bag used to have these inspirational messages on it, and she would post the thing, and then she would be like, "Thanks for teabagging me." I had no clue.
Look, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, it starts like going viral.
Just how did I not use that gem?
I'm like, what is happening? Like, oh my god, these people love my inspirational message. And what does that mean? And I'm like, no, what?
that's
I
so
Googled
great.
it. I was disgusted and horrified. I deleted the tweet. I was so mad, but I've since embraced it. I actually just tweeted the other day, "Thank you, Teabag." Like I've embraced
Yes.
it. I can laugh about it now. But at the time, I was really annoyed at you that you didn't prevent it from happening.
Not only did I not, I don't get it. What does it mean? I retweeted her tweet, and then I had a GIF of a guy to her tweet, and I was like, well, that guy's teabagging.
So Eric, do you have? So this is what it's like for me because when I met Karin and we started dating, she wouldn't even say a swear word. Like we would be on a date, and I'm like, say shit, please, and she's like, I'm not saying it. And now I look at her 17 years later, and I'm like, kind of proud of myself. I'm like, look what I've done.
You broke me. Thanks. But actually, you helped me.
I have a potty mouth, like I curse.
She definitely curses.
You may be less red during things like this.
Because Nicole was new when we were put together for shows. She had never done it before, and I knew that she is a shy person. And in those early shows, she would always be like, well, I'm worried if this thing happens or that thing happens.
Yeah.
Or someone does her. So we would sit down and the show would start and she would know we're live and I'd be like, hey, vagina face. And she's like, her whole face. See, what's worse than that? What is worse than the person doing the show is saying that, that's how I tried to, break her of it, and now it's just fun.
So don't get as red anymore.
No.
And that's, I literally was just going to say, there's my dog, Kelly. Anyways, leave it. And this is our Enzo. We have our own Enzo. We didn't name him after BB Enzo, though.
So we really wanted to bring up.
He's so cute.
We wanted to bring up the WAP movement. Do you guys know about the WAP movement?
Yes, Nicole's WAP video is at 140-something thousand views on TikTok.
So Aaron wants me to know what it is. I don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is?
No.
How was I supposed to know? I didn't know the song. I was in the Big Brother house. He only played the part of the clip that was like, I don't cook, I don't clean. I was listening to the rest of the rap. Why don't you stop and listen to the rap? How did I not realize? That's so embarrassing.
I actually told her because I knew if I told her what the song meant, I knew she wouldn't do it. She saw that it said WAP and she asked me what it meant.
Oh.
It said women are powerful.
Oh my gosh, Nicole, where have you been all my life?
I don't cook.
Yeah.
Clean. So I thought it was like, I ain't your mom, like J-Lo song. I ain't gonna be cooking all day. I ain't your mama. That's what I thought it was.
And I didn't know she was going to post it, so all of a sudden I get the notification and I walk into it, and you can't change it. TikTok, you can't change the description after. Nicole literally put it. I love this. Wow, women are horrible.
That's amazing. Again, Nicole, that's why you got hired for BB. That's hilarious. That's funny and that's endearing. I love it.
Yeah, 'cause she's over here right now. What does that stand for? What's WAP?
Top Gun says it's Cardi B. I didn't even know that. See, I'm clueless. Yeah. Should I guess what it means?
I can share with you what it means. I have no shame.
Okay, let's do it. See, Sean's like you, Eric. He lets it all out. See, now we can talk about this. Let's go, Nicole. Go for it.
It stands for wet ass pussy.
And thank you, because I literally would have been like, Sean, why did you say queeflapple? Why did you say that? Now everybody's gonna think I'm dirty.
We would have had that conversation later.
But that is amazing. I love it.
But I had one question. I'm going to forget. I really have no memory, and I don't want to forget. Was Enzo a golden doodle?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so sweet. He's a collabradoodle, so he has collie in him too. But I love that he's huge. You want to see him? Let's see.
Come say hi to everybody.
He's really big. He's like a Sasquatch.
I love big dogs.
Do you?
No, this isn't Charlie. I know your dog's name is Charlie. We have a Charlie too, but he's laying down sleeping. He's an old man.
Baby Bigfoot. That's exactly what he is. But
I want a golden doodle or a doodle dog so bad. But I know you do.
They're so cuddly.
He's adorable. I love him.
Thank you.
I love him so.
Have you guys ever seen the movie The Art of Racing in the Rain? Have you ever seen it?
No, The Art of Racing in the Rain.
No.
I don't know if anyone else is here, but anyways, there's a dog in that movie named Enzo, and oh my gosh, this is such a good story, but it's a little tear-jerkery, so probably you'll avoid it. Most people do when it comes to dogs.
It's not about the dog that follows the guy to work every day at the train station.
No.
Okay.
It's he's
You know that one?
yeah.
No.
See that one's sad, but Art of Racing in the Rain is inspirational. It doesn't like break your heart.
Yeah, you guys all need to see it.
Oh, Homeward Bound? That was great.
Oh, see, Nicole won't like this one then. Well, okay, it has a bittersweet ending. Let me just put it there. And that's how Enzo got his name. I read the book. It's amazing. Okay, I'm digressing,
Okay.
I know.
Can we name our next animal WAP?
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Okay, listen, I know you guys probably are like, a dude. When are we going to finish? So just my last thing I wanted to say to you guys is, who do you think is going to be in the final 3 of VB? Like, what are your guesses?
Karin.
I'm gonna let you pick first because I don't want to pick the same as you.
I'm gonna go with Cody, Nicole, Enzo.
That's exactly who I thought, girl. What do you think,
Yeah.
Eric?
I mean, that's who I think too, but I'll then say Memphis, other one.
What do you think,
What's
Sean?
this game?
It's Christmas.
Oh, Christmas. Oh God. No,
Mhm.
I hope one of them goes this week now. But yeah, no, it's clearly Cody, Nicole, and Enzo. I feel like
I thought that's where it's gonna fall.
that's where it's gonna fall. That's where it's gonna fall.
Christmas is going home this week.
Yeah.
No way Nicole gets rid of Enzo during her HOH.
Correct. And going forward now, only POV matters.
Oh wait, how many vote? So she nominates
Only
Memphis
two.
for Christmas.
Right.
Memphis comes down. She has to put Enzo. Oh,
That's-
that's a tie. Never
yeah,
mind.
that's what
So Memphis or Christmas is leaving.
The Cody, Nicole, Enzo now are in power into the end of the game, regardless of
Yeah.
what happens.
I really predicted that it was going to be Cody and Enzo at the very end. And Nicole hasn't won anything except for everybody,
Yes. Yeah.
you know? Yeah, well, she won HOH. There you go. Embrace it. But so I was like, can you imagine?
Goes to her because like I understand I know from last season what it feels like to get farmed. Like I just want to win something.
Yeah.
And like I at least can say I won something in the All Stars house before I was evicted. So like I'm just happy that at least she can say she won something in the All Star house.
Right.
Because it'll never make the show. Did you see what happened when she got her letter?
No.
Did you guys see what happened when she got her letter?
No.
Reading it.
Tell
Oh, wait.
Last night. So
Is this where she's analyzing it?
She was
Yeah.
analyzing it, but Victor was very much like, I wish you the best of luck this season and hope you do well. And Nicole was freaking out to Cody and she was like, he's speaking to me generically. Everyone hates us. That's why there's wall yellers. He didn't mention the podcast. It must be canceled. We must have negative reviews. She was like spiraling out of control. She's like, this letter is like it's from someone who doesn't know me. It's just very basic. Like he's trying not to say anything to me. I have to be hated.
Would have been my second letter. I had to win 2 HOHs. First one would have been my sister. Second one would have been you.
Oh my gosh.
wow.
You had the letter and everything.
No, this is the letter that Nicole wrote to me the day she gave everyone a letter like when she was leaving.
Oh.
And I told her that I was not opening it until finale.
Oh, that's really sweet. Well, now I just saw that it says Eric on it. So obviously she gave it to you. And I love that you put little stickers on it, Nicole. That's the little school teacher in you, huh?
Or I love stickers.
Me too.
And I know you're trying to wrap us up. I had one question that I've been trying to find a good opportunity to throw in there, and it just hasn't really fit anywhere else. So, okay, so I'm a social media guy. She's starting to take over stuff, thankfully, because I don't really have time, and I'm not really. I'm a Facebook guy. I don't really do everything else she does. But we want to start getting into TikTok, and we don't even have an account yet. But then I saw Eric's Yes, I saw Eric's TikTok recently, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then I started kind of trolling, what's it called? Like watching all your guys' TikToks.
Right.
And now I'm really excited about it. Like, do you guys should we get into this? Like, is it?
Yes.
Melville.
Here's my thing. I was very skeptical about TikTok because I didn't get it at first. People would show me like, look, it's a soundbite, and this person did it, and this person did it. I'm like, what? I'm not getting it. But like, I give you major props for doing Facebook, because me and Facebook do not get along.
Same.
But, like, not the people, the actual formatting. Like, I don't understand how to post to it. But like, so my love is like Instagram. I'm getting used to Twitter still.
Same.
TikTok. Once you're in it, you are just in it. It's so welcoming, and it's just fun. It's stupid stuff, but it's fun stuff. You can scroll through it if you're stressed out, and it'll cheer you up. And there's not negativity in it like there is on Twitter. Like, it's people like, love that dance, or I'm gonna duet that, and just silly, good fun. And I think we need more of that in this world. So do it. I will duet you. And yes,
I will say I never used Instagram. I hated Instagram until I had to take over and be Nicole. Then I learned, like, when I started doing shows, I used to do mashups. And it used to take me a week to create this mashup video. Then when I had to start using her Instagram, I'm like, oh my God, I can literally make a 15-second funny mashup, and it take me 5 minutes, not 12 hours. That's how I fell in love with Instagram, like Insta stories specifically. Then, yes, when we came out, Nicole started doing the TikToks. I hated them. I fought against them so bad. And now I totally say I love it. Because all we do, you guys know, I think everyone that watches what we do here, it's like, you guys are so lucky. You go live and hang out and talk for an hour, and then that job is so easy, and whoever does it. We all know that it is hours and hours of technical graphics. It's all just sit at your desk and work. So when Nicole is like, make a TikTok, I'm like, oh, we get to go dance? Like, we get to do something fun and laugh into it. It is a nice break from the day to make a fun, TikTok. I think 100% you should do it. I think when it comes to TikTok, if you don't have a gimmick, it's really hard to break in. If you guys saw Nicole's Bibbidi Bobbidi Boop video, you should do one like that, like you could be yourselves, like, and then like you jump, and when you land, you're in the other outfit.
Some of the people that follow me are saying I need to do it now because it's going to get banned. Is that true?
yes.
It's not getting banned.
Are you sure?
It's never getting banned. You don't need to worry about it. Oh, okay, now that's
Sorry, we have.
but
He jumped.
Is that WAP?
That's WAP.
no, you have to do it. Nicole and I will definitely share it if you guys do it. Don't worry about not learning the dances. Nicole and I also do not know the dances. I, as I told you before the show, have a permanent temp unit attached to me because of Nicole making me do the dances. It like my back and stuff. So like you just have to go for it. But it's fun.
It is a lot of fun. Like I always say, I feel like sometimes people make life too hard. Like TikTok, life is easy. Just have fun. Like,
Just have fun.
It's stupid fun stuff just for the point of spreading positivity and joy. That's why I like it.
Yes, like that's and I feel like that is truly what you guys are all about. And this has really been a lot of fun, like having you guys on here, kind of like, I don't know, shooting the shiz. You know what I'm saying?
And by the way, I love the overlay. Love it.
Oh,
thanks.
You Sean worked really hard on that. I'm glad you guys like it. And you guys, again, everyone who's watching, thanks for joining in. Like, this means a lot to us. Nicole and Eric, you've been so kind to bring your friends over to us, your Hello friends and your Tea Time friends and your Reality Recaps friends. And we're grateful for you. And on Wednesday, actually, believe it or not, Cliff Hogg is going to come join us. And if you want to pop in, you guys, like,
You will.
wouldn't that be really fun? How long has it been since you've talked to Cliff? He's come and hang out with us.
I miss him. I'm hoping to see him. Oh, can I say it? What? I'm hoping to see him in December at the reality charity event for Give Kids the World.
Ah, how beautiful.
I'm excited.
Well, that's great.
And this show is going to obviously be saved in the TV co for people to watch back later, right? Because I know our people are not 4 in the afternoon.
Oh.
We are 4 in the afternoon people. people. Our people, I already know I have a lot of people asking, we can watch it back later, we're not home from work, or we're not here from this. So we will share the link with people to watch back after dinner.
Well, this, like I said, I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, but I mean, it's really true. And the fact that, like, you know, we just reached out to you for what the heck? Let's just ask Nicole, see what she says. And it just shows how kind you are to take time. I mean, now it's been almost 2 hours. You guys have sat here with us, and hello. That says a lot about who you guys are. Thank you so much. And Cliff is going to be at 7 o'clock this Wednesday. So the people that follow me, we usually do trivia at that time, but I don't know if that cuts into y'all's time.
Oh no, that's not what I meant when I said our people are important. I just meant the people that watch our shows are, I think they sleep.
Oh, I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant.
They're feed watchers, but we'll be there.
Ah.
We have to stay awake.
Like troll Cliff, I need to think of questions.
We should. We can think of some good clips.
I think he would probably, I mean, I don't know Cliff, but I would imagine he'd be excited to see you. Maybe we could make it a surprise, Nicole. What do you think?
Yeah.
Just send me some messages later, and because I don't want to put you on the spot. So if the time works for you, you know.
Cliff, the one person you don't worry about is Cliff. Like, all obsessed with him.
If you want to screw with Cliff,
Yeah, I mean, you know.
You should say to him something like, I saw this video going around the internet of you dancing to a Taylor Swift song or something.
Okay, write that down, Taylor Swift.
Pre-season, I was going to do a TikTok with all of the people doing the Taylor. There's trends on TikTok, and the Taylor Swift trend was really big at that time.
Yeah.
And I love Taylor Swift. So I was getting these clips from the Big Brother people to do a congratulations, Nicole's on Big Brother. And of course, Cliff was one of the first people to send me the clip. And then we went right into like week 2 of Nicole being on the block. And I was like, gonna hold on making this. Congratulations for being on the show.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And it says, but Cliff will always ask, like at random times, like he'll ask Nicole, did Eric ever do anything with that clip? So, and I have not done anything with it yet. So
You've seen it.
But you've seen it, yes.
You should show it during the show.
Yes.
Oh.
That would be super funny. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you guys have a minute to, like, when you guys are away from us and you talk and you have funny ideas, send them our way, because I think that would be really funny.
That would be really funny.
That would be funny. Now, when is that again? Because I'm ready for it. You have to write it.
And like I said, you guys don't have to answer now, because I definitely don't want to put you on the spot. And if you can't, obviously we'll understand. But it's Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at 7 to 8.
100%. We can think of a fun, like 1 or 2 funny questions.
That's so funny. I'm ready.
I'm so excited. And even if you guys, like, anyways, I always worry because I don't want to inconvenience people. But if you can come the whole time, great. But if not, that's fine too.
We're on it. We will do.
Woohoo! It's a BB gathering reunion for Nicole and Cliff, hopefully.
And I just want to say, Aaron, yes, I see you zing-botting me in chat, and don't think I did not notice that, and I will have my revenge. Thank you.
My mother-in-law says she enjoyed it. I loved this, and all the people that it came, thank you. Again, you know, you guys were doing animations and hearts and all that stuff, and of course, we love it and greatly appreciate it. Nicole and Eric, I hope you have a really awesome weekend. And I feel like you guys are like, we're kind of kindred souls a little bit, so yeah. Yes. Much love. Y'all have fun, and then let us know, and we'll talk more soon.
Will do. Thank you.
Perfect.
Love you all.
Bye.
Yes, thank you so much, guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Bye, TV Co. Bye, bye.